Well, it's taking us to Chelsea first and foremost, funnily enough, because we were speaking about maybe a bit of a slow window for Chelsea so far. Obviously, they've got in Sterling,
Raheem Sterling
and Koulibaly. Yeah, but just in terms of numbers, because we know it's a squad that is in need of reinforcements. And one of those we think now will be Jules Kounde. We spoke about him yesterday. An initial bid of £47 million rejected. The two clubs, as I understand it, have now settled on a fee of £55 million. And I'm told this one will get done, but there is still the prospect of Barcelona hijacking it, because I think they're about to move into the third tier of their financial restructuring, which would, according to sources in Spain, give them the opportunity to match Chelsea's bid. They haven't done that so far. Personal terms between Kounde and Chelsea were agreed last summer, so that won't be an issue. And I think this is an exciting signing for Chelsea.
Can he take a penalty?
You're talking about Conor Gallagher's incredible spot kick miss overnight in the
last
USA.
Night?
Yeah.
What did you think of
Brilliant.
it? What was he doing?
Brilliant. I don't know whether he was trying to do...
He was trying to do the Panenka, wasn't he?
He was trying to do the Panenka, and when you get the Panenka wrong, you look stupid.
Well, yeah, you called someone a Panenka plonker during a game once, didn't you?
I did. It
was a Bristol City
It was
game.
a Bristol City because obviously famously the flats from Only Fools and Horses overlook Ashton Gate, so the line was there.
Yeah, well, who was that?
I think it was Naki Wells, wasn't it?
It might have been. I can't remember.
It was Naki Wells.
You
I was listening on talkSPORT
pre-prepared
too.
that you did, didn't you? When you saw the flats and you had plonker.
Well, I'd already mentioned the flats.
Okay.
And the fact that Bristol City's home form wasn't great made them the unreliant Robins, and then when he missed the penalty, it just sort of linked up.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Chelsea, by the way, lost last night. They drew with Charlotte. 92nd minute equaliser for Charlotte, only for to go to penalty shootout and Chelsea to lose on penalty shootout. I think the people in Charlotte are really happy about that. I don't think Thomas Tuchel is as satisfied. What else you got for us?
There was a problem before that game as well, wasn't there, with thunderstorms? The kickoff was delayed.
There was. The problem is, especially when there's huge, big storms in America. It happened to England in 2014 when they played a friendly prior to the World Cup. The game gets delayed for ages because you can't have people in the stadium with the threat of a severe thunder and lightning, and then they had to clear it out. My brother, who went to the game actually yesterday, got there very early because he was incredibly excited because he's a Chelsea fan. He lives in Charlotte. Got there really early, and then there was nobody else in the stadium because the game had been delayed by 2 hours and he had to wait even longer.
And he purchased a half and half scarf. Who does that?
He did.
Who does that anyway?
Scarf.
Let alone in a friendly environment.
I can understand that.
Yeah, he lives in Charlotte.
No.
He's a Chelsea fan. He goes to watch Charlotte on a regular basis. You know, two different countries. I think you can get away with that, can't you?
Cheer up, Al. Come
Cheer
on.
up.
I'm not sure.
Curmudgeonly
Crook again.
Strikes again.
Just an update on the subject of friendlies, by the way. That game, Wolves against Levante, both sides having two players sent off. The referee called time 5 minutes early in the end, so it didn't quite reach its conclusion. Cristiano Ronaldo trying to call time on his Manchester United career, and really interesting developments on that over the last 24 hours. We're hearing that he's been offered to Atletico Madrid. George Mendes has had a meeting with the hierarchy there and said he'll take a significant pay cut to play for Atletico in the Champions League. At the moment, it's an offer that has been declined, but I guess that does add to the fuel that this is not about money for Ronaldo. This is purely about him wanting to play at the highest level next season.
What is the motivation here, and what does this tell you about his relationship with Manchester United? Is it purely that he's trying to set these records in the Champions Leagues, and that's all he's interested in, and his loyalties to the club mean nothing in comparison to his loyalty to fulfilling those obligations to himself, which is to be the best of the best? Or is it also smacking of a little bit of desperation? Because clearly when he first made that statement, everybody thought he'd got a plan in place. He hasn't, has he?
Well, I thought he had a plan in place because it was made public as if he was going, and then it was going to be announced where he went. I would be so surprised if he didn't have somewhere where he wanted to go, but he wants to make sure that when history looks back on him, that he's done it in different countries, and he's already done that. He probably doesn't need to prove that to anybody apart from himself. But, in terms of Manchester United, without him last season, they would have been in trouble, and I think you cannot gloss over that. I think that he is well aware that he won't fit in with what Ten Hag wants to do with the team, and I think it will be mutually beneficial for him not to be there.
Ten Hag says he can. He
says,
but
he's going to say that. That's there's a manager not going to say, I don't want Cristiano Ronaldo, because then if he starts the season badly, the team starts the season badly, there's like, well, you didn't want...
And also you're devaluing an asset if you say that. He has to toe the line.
Absolutely, but he wants to play, I would suspect, for a Champions League. He could take the money, he could be a live golfer and go and play in wherever.
Well, he was offered the chance to go to Saudi Arabia for 275 million quid and he turned it down, apparently.
So he wants to show that he's the best that's ever been, and so he'll go and play somewhere where he can show that. But I'm so surprised that that's not already in place. That's a little bit of a worry for him.
I wonder if Lingfield might take a look at him, because they won the first leg of their Champions League qualifier the other night.
Not Lingfield, that's the racecourse. Linfield.
Well, it might be. He's quite quick.
He's a fine specimen.
You're getting your sports mixed up. Your favourite pastimes.
Yeah, glorious Goodwood next week.
Yeah, we know. You can't stop talking about it. You're taking a day off next week to go. I can't believe it. Go on.
On the subject of how history will judge players, I wonder how history will judge the latest potential arrival at Southampton, because Sam Matterface already has turned his nose up at this one, but they are on the verge, as I understand it, of signing a young striker from France. He plays for Bordeaux, who've got all kinds of financial issues. Sekou Mara, 19 years of age, top goal scorer at the Toulon tournament, the last one of those, and obviously that's thrown up some pretty good players down the years. He's regarded as one of Europe's most up-and-coming stars. He'll sign a 5-year deal once he's undergone a medical. Southampton nipping in ahead of Newcastle, who also look to sign him. It's another young player they're looking to buy, around about £11 million the fee, and hopefully that they can sell on for quite a hefty profit. In the future, it will be their 5th summer signing, most of them fitting into the same mould, but you're a bit sceptical.
Who told you he was the most up-and-coming player in France? His agent?
No, I've spoken to a couple of French journalists, and one of them told me that he isn't as good as Hugo Ekitiko. Obviously, Newcastle
you haven't spoken to anyone today. You've only been texting.
Newcastle have tried desperately to sign, but he could be as good as Ekitiko. So this could be a really smart signing.
So just to let everybody know, Southampton beat Newcastle to the signing. So Newcastle, with all that money, wealth and ability to get deals over the line, were beaten to it by Southampton, who haven't really got that much money.
Well, it's interesting because I mentioned Bordeaux's financial problems, and I think there was a real danger, actually. They could have even been forced into administration, and Newcastle were one of a number of clubs waiting in the wings to see if that happened and hopefully pick up this player for cheaper. But Southampton have moved in and paid
Swiftly.
the money, which might actually help Bordeaux in their dire financial predicament.
Well, there you go.
I'm only
poking the bear.
When you're a young player, and if you've got good people around you, you look at the route to the first team, the route to minutes in the team, and maybe in Southampton that he might get more of
who
that.
would be blocking his path to the first team? Shay Adams.
Yeah, didn't score a lot of goals last season. Obviously, Adam Armstrong didn't really score the goals they expected. Broja has gone. Theo Walcott probably will go. I think the way that Southampton have sold themselves as a club this summer is that they approach young players. They've signed Gavin Bazunu and Roman Lavia, 2 teenagers from Manchester City, and I think they've promised them that pathway into the first team that Lucy has mentioned, whereas obviously at Newcastle, when Callum Wilson's fit, he starts.
Yeah, you worked in youth development for a really long time, and those young players often do feel as if there is a glass ceiling that is very difficult to smash through. How do you convince them that they can do it? Do you know very early which ones will?
No, you don't. They're all much of a muchness in terms of talent, unless you've got one that's head and shoulders. So it's about opportunity, it's about luck, it's about avoiding injury, and it's about their own attitude. It's very, very difficult. I've seen players with loads more talent than Calvin Phillips, who is playing for England now, who didn't get the opportunity or didn't have that bit of luck or whatever it is, and they're not in the game anymore. So it is so difficult for a young player to get through to a first team. So if they're at a club where they know that route, and sometimes for a young player in an academy, when if a team gets relegated to the Championship from the Premier League, all of a sudden, or the Championship to the League One, all of a sudden the route is a little bit clearer, and for young players, they think this could be my time.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.